Welcome to the Diary of a Manager, your go-to resource for actionable managing tips, insights on management concepts, and effective ways on how to manage yourself. With your host, Brunello. And now, here's the show. Today we are going to talk about working from home arrangement. Is it good? Is it bad? And what's your opinion about it? And what does your company policy say about it? In the Hayes Salary Guide 2024-2025 financial year, part of that document was a study that shows that both organizations and employees have settled into this new reality, meaning the working from home arrangement. 75% of employees across 26 industries work in a hybrid or remote arrangement. 92% of employees say working in a hybrid mode is their preferred way of working. And I can see on the table here that 31%, the highest on the rostering per week, that people work 2 days remote and 3 days on site. 31%, the highest. The lowest is 4 days remote, 1 day on site. So, some employees work from home on certain days that don't necessarily coincide with the rostering of the other team members, which can pose issues, particularly when you're trying to get things done and you want, it requires input from each team member. Everyone's on a different working from home roster, and more often than not, it is difficult to align that with the rest of the team. Particularly those with children, because obviously the school drop-off pickup times, the childcare, daycare, they have different arrangements for different team members. So how do you manage this? Well, as a manager, it is twofold. You don't want to try to manage something that can't really be managed, because they're actually personal lives, personal schedules of the employees. And now, post-COVID, that becomes a reality. That's part of the reality, as is confirmed by the Hayes Salary Guide with the study that was done. So it's settled that working from home arrangement is here. So we just need to manage it in terms of rostering. So, who's doing what days and how many days at work, the office, and how many days at home. I think the important thing is to focus on the management of the work, not the management of your employees' personal schedules. Because if you focus on the work, then you can sort of arrange or schedule what things need to be done and by who and by certain times. And this is also one way to retain employees, because most companies offer this flexibility. You don't want to be requiring employees to come to the office 5 days a week. You're just encouraging them to actually start looking for jobs look for other companies that actually offer that flexibility. Because obviously, especially post-COVID, that becomes a new reality where they want to work certain days at home, where it's close to school, it's close to childcare, daycare, and they can sort of manage their personal responsibilities. And this is also one way to attract or retain employees. For example, you don't have a lot of budget to give big pay increases to employees. So you want to do other things like flexibility as a way to compensate that. And the other advantages of working from home, aside from the flexibility that I mentioned, is work-life balance. As I said, employees can better manage their personal responsibilities if they're working from home, and also reduces commuting time and possibly stress. And it also increases productivity. There's less distraction at home, and you can actually spend, focused time, deep work at home. And also, you want to have access to a wider pool of skills. Then you might have access to other skills in other states, because you're not just focused on in one state if you require that person to come to the office. Cost savings, obviously, savings for the employees, because there's less money spent on transport and food, clothes, and also for companies. smaller offices means smaller rent, smaller overhead costs. But despite all the benefits that I mentioned for the working from home arrangement, there are challenges. And most common that I've seen is the communication or collaboration issues. There's always misunderstanding sometimes in terms of instructions, or especially when you're trying to communicate via email or messages. Your messages or what you're trying to convey may not necessarily be comprehended by the other person. So sometimes it's necessary to give them a call to just confirm what is being asked or what's being instructed. And also isolation issues, mental issues. If you're working from home, for example, all week, that can be very lonely. So, there can be a feeling of disconnect from your team. So it's important to actually check on them, making sure that they're okay and how they're going with their work. That's why it's also a good idea to have that rostering done for the week, like, how many days at the office, 2 days, for example, and then 3 days from home. And also, one thing that I've noticed is that when you're working from home, sometimes you don't necessarily shut down your computer or your laptop. You just keep them all the time, and you just and then you close it. You don't necessarily shut down, so your team's status could still be away or available. Sometimes you open your laptop at 7 o'clock in the morning, but you don't necessarily start work at 8 or 9, but people still try to call you to ask for things. So make sure to have that boundary. Actually, if you start work from 9 to 5, then you just log on from 9 to 5. So make sure to have that boundary. And I think that overall, if you manage this working from home arrangement as a manager, it can actually generate great results. And it's a fact that companies offer this flexibility, and it's important for companies to consider this and manage it properly, so that this could be an added benefit to actually retain or attract employees. Thank you. My name is Ronaldo, and welcome to the Diary of the Manager.